Hello students. So in the last part we will study about immune response. So how our immune response is generated, we will study in this part. When a pathogen enters the human or animal body, it can enter through skin or through other body surface. A fluid called lymph carries it to small filter-like organs called as lymph nodes. So lymph, these are fluidy materials like that of blood, a fluid substance, but these are colorless. So it carries the pathogen to the organ called as lymph nodes. So lymph nodes are present in various body parts in our body. Lymph nodes have all the components of immune system, that is B lymphocyte, T lymphocyte and macrophages. In lymph node, the pathogen is engulfed by macrophages and is broken down by the enzymes. So the function of macrophages, how it works, students, they used to engulf the pathogen. So in lymph node, the pathogen is engulfed by the macrophages. The macrophage then present components of the pathogen to the T lymphocyte, and then the engulfed parts, and then when it is broken down, the components of that pathogen is then presented to the T lymphocyte. After this, several cellular mechanisms will take place in which a number of soluble substances called as interleukins are produced by the macrophages, B lymphocyte and T lymphocyte. So in this cellular mechanism, a soluble substance called as interleukins are produced. Under the influence of interleukins, the B lymphocyte and the T lymphocyte, it gets activated. So this interleukin, it will further activate the B lymphocyte and the T lymphocyte. After activation, the B lymphocyte, it then differentiate into plasma cells. And one more cell is there, that is memory cells. That is not included. I'll talk to that later. But this B lymphocyte is then differentiated to plasma cells. And these cells, these plasma cells, they secrete antibodies or the immunoglobulins. So this B lymphocyte, they secrete antibodies. So the antibodies are secreted by the B lymphocyte. The antibodies, they react with the pathogen and destroy it. Now there are 5 different classes of antibodies, and these are called as IgG, IgM, IgE, IgD and IgE. That is immunoglobulin G, immunoglobulin M, immunoglobulin A, immunoglobulin D and immunoglobulin E. And these antibodies, these are glycoprotein in nature, and each consists of 4 polypeptide chain, of which 2 are heavy chains and 2 are light chain. I will show you the diagram. See, this is the structure of the immunoglobulin. We have studied that it consists of 2 light chain, these are, and 2 heavy chain. So these 2 are the light chains and these are the heavy chains. Next, disulfide bonds hold the polypeptide chain together. So students, these are these bridges, can you see? These are the disulfide bonds that will hold together this polypeptide chain. These are disulfide, that is sulfur bond is present. Each chain has a variable region and a constant region. See this another diagram. This part, upper part, this is called the variable region, and this whole, this is the constant region. In this part here, the antigen will come and bind. The antigen will combine in this part of the antibody here on the top. in the variable region. So this type of immune response, which is mediated by antibodies, is called as humoral response. So students, humoral and immunity, humoral response, it relies on the action of the antibodies. Antibodies are generated in humoral response. We have another type, we will see in the last paragraph. The interleukins, they also activate the T lymphocyte, macrophages and NK cells. These activated cells of immune system attack those cells of the host which harbor pathogen and kill them. This is called cell mediated immune response. So we have seen two type of immune response. One is humoral response. Here antibodies, it relies on the action of the antibodies, and here in humoral response or humoral immunity, B lymphocyte was involved. And when we talk about cell mediated immune response, here T lymphocyte is responsible. T lymphocyte, activation of T lymphocyte was responsible for cell mediated immune response. So the immune system, they respond to an antigen by producing cells that we have seen in this case that directly attack the pathogen, or by producing special protein, that is the antibodies, which we have studied in humoral response.